gluten-free bread rolls. Delicious and super easy to make. Ingredients: 2.5 cups of flour, baking powder, 2 tablespoons, 1 teaspoon salt. Wet ingredients: 2 eggs, mix them up a little bit, put a tablespoon of apple cider and 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Yeast for this bread. And we're gonna need to proof the yeast, make sure the yeast is active. How we're gonna do that? Warm water, about a cup of warm water. Let your sink run hot until it's really hot, almost to the point that you cannot touch it. That's when you put a cup of warm water, sugar, 2 tablespoons of sugar. The sugar is the food for the yeast. Goes in. There are 2 kinds of yeast, the dry yeast and the paste yeast. Paste is very difficult to find and it's more difficult to work with. Dry is easy, just put it in. And we're gonna wait about 5 minutes to see if the yeast is active. If the yeast is active, about 5 minutes, it will start forming a foam and bubbles, and it will start smelling yeasty. We're gonna need something to bake the bread rolls. Something like that, either a porcelain dish or a pie dish or a Dutch oven also, that will work too. We'll spray it so it doesn't stick. We have it ready. We're gonna mix the dry ingredients together. 2.5 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt. Here we have the butter, the eggs, and the apple cider. Mix them in. Let's stir it a little bit. We're gonna check our yeast. It's nice and alive, beautiful foam. It's really good. That's exactly what we want. Smells good. So we're gonna put the whole thing back into the flour, mix it. Almost like pancake batter. So the more you mix it, the more air you incorporate into the batter. And because this is a gluten-free flour, you don't have to worry about, if it's a regular flour, the more you mix it, the harder you make your bread. So if it's a regular flour, you don't mix it. This recipe makes about 8 rolls. So we're gonna scoop 8 scoops into the pre-greased pan. Put them over there. You don't have to worry about sticking together because after we bake them, it will be easier to, they will separate by themselves. They're not so smooth, so we're gonna use a little water and with our fingers, just make it a little smooth on top. We're gonna cover them and we're gonna let it proof for an hour. And after an hour, it will look something like that. It will be proofed, a little bit puffed. It'll be ready to cook. We're gonna cover them and cook them in the oven covered for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, uncover them, brush with a little butter, and cook them for another 15 minutes. Basically half hour. The bread rolls are in the oven for 15 minutes, covered. We're gonna take them out, uncover them, and brush them with melted butter. After brushing, we're gonna put it back in the oven for another 15 minutes, and that will be half hour total. It's been cooking for another 15 minutes, uncovered. Let's check it out. Looks nice and golden. Just before we cut it, brush it with more butter to make it shiny and a little more moist. They're not sticking at all, as you can see. and should be easy to come out. Gluten-free rolls. Enjoy!